Hey guys, J-Man here. Welcome to my video. Today we will finally talk about the latest album, Day of Salvation, by the Tokyo-based Melodic group Thousand Eyes. The band was formed by main composer Kota and vocalist Togen in October of 2011. Both musicians are well known for their previous work in the Japanese Touhou scene. Kota used the alias Bach in respectable projects like Thousand Leaves or Dragon Guardian. Meanwhile, Dogen made a name for himself as West Village, the driving force behind bands like Undead Corporation or After Zero. In 2012, the lineup was completed by bassist Akira from Youthquake and Volcano, guitarist Toru from Tears of Tragedy, and drummer Yuki from Knights of Round. Each member shares a familiar background with different genres like thrash metal, melodeath, or power metal, which fused well into the sound of their debut album Bloody Empire from 2013. This record was followed by a last lineup change when Yuki decided to focus on other projects. He was replaced by Fumin from Unlucky Morpheus. Fumin can also be heard on last year's Galnerius album Ultimate Sacrifice. The all-star band went on to record their second album Endless Sacrifice, which continued the direction of their previous effort. Now they are finally back with their third long player called Day of Salvation, which is a critical point in every band's career. We will check it out together right after we took a look at the general release informations. Day of Salvation was released on the 21st of February on their own indie label Bloody Empire. It features a total of 11 tracks with a playtime of 43 minutes. The title track was previously released as a music video on their official YouTube channel. Without the assistance of an overseas distributor, you will have to import the physical version through Japanese Amazon or CT Japan. The digital version is easier to obtain through download services like iTunes. For a first impression, you can listen to the whole album on Spotify. The album starts with the short and playful instrumental Dawn of Despair, which leads to the fast-paced title track. Day of Salvation starts with thrash metal influenced riffs and turns later into a more traditional melodeath song. I gotta say, it has some pretty neat groove passages. However, the outstanding aspect is the ultra catchy chorus, which is carried by this outstanding lead guitar work. The following Dead Again continues with the previously introduced thrash metal vibes. The aggressive drumming in combination with Dogen's hasty shouting style reminds me a lot of the Swedish thrash metal legend The Haunted during their Peter Dolving era. Thousand Eyes continue with Lost Forever, which surprises again with a very big and melodic chorus. Kota goes absolutely crazy on his guitar with extensive guitar solos. There are also a few slower passages, which give the listener enough room to breathe. Cold Blood returns to the previously mentioned The Haunted influences. Especially the tight opening could be directly from albums like Revolver or The Dead Eye. On the other hand, you got these very detailed guitar leads, which share a lot of similarities with their previous Touhou projects. At times the guitar almost feels like a vocal replacement, which tells his own story through the notes. The album continues with Death Illusion, which has a really nice flow between aggressive and melodic passages. Obviously, Thousand Eyes are influenced by classic Gothenburg bands like At the Gates or Dark Tranquillity. However, on this track I also feel some Finnish vibes. Especially groups like Katamania come to mind. Final Rain falls into the same category. At this point you have a pretty good idea about their general sound, which starts to settle down with the listener. I can't help myself, but I kinda feel like this album is way more melodic than their previous albums. Astral Skies changed the pace with some really cool mid-tempo riffs during the verses. This time they also nailed the chorus part with this really strong melody. Worth to point out that Dogen's vocals start to feel a little bit monotonous, but they still go well along the instruments. His shouts have enough power to carry the tracks, but I wish he would use a little bit more variation. How about a spoken words passage or maybe a few deeper growls? Sadly, Dread My Brain adds to this impression that Thousand Eyes slowly start to repeat themselves. Sure, it displays a great synergy between the musicians, which are all excellent at their respective instruments. However, this song doesn't give much reason to stick out between the others. Rampage Tyrant sticks to its name and is one of those faster and more aggressive tracks. It starts with furious thrash riffs and impactful drumming before the leads take over. Thousand Eyes finally change things up with the last track, Devastated Moment. This track relies more on the rhythm guitar and offers some great headbanging material. Sure, I enjoy these great lead melodies, but this album could need more of this outstanding groove. The songwriting feels way more dynamic this way. After going through every song, it's time to gather my final thoughts. Thousand Eyes were never known for experimentation. Day of Salvation follows the path of the previous two albums, however it feels like the balance shifted more towards the melodic side. The general sound lies somewhere between the typical Tohu style known from Thousand Leaves, Gothenburg Melo death metal, beefy thrash metal riffs and the eccentric melody focus from Finnish metal. This concept works well on fantastic tracks like Day of Salvation, Lost Forever or Devastated Moment. However, I can't deny that this formula becomes quite repetitive and especially the second half of this long player falls flat. Each musician is excellent at their respective instrument, but I wish they would take more risks and open up for more variation. Maybe they could invite a guest singer for some clean vocals or include a few symphonic elements. Also, they should utilize more of those groovy mid-tempo riffs because those provide some really killer moments on this album. All things considered, I would give Day of Salvation an well above average 7 out of 10. I really enjoy their overall sound. However, the market is filled with hundreds of Melo death metal bands and Thousand Eyes need to add some new twists to their music. Otherwise, they will have a hard time standing out from the masses. So far, their raw talent keeps them on top of their game, but this may not be enough in the future. This being said, we already came to the end of this review. I hope you enjoyed my video, and if you did, please leave me a like and make sure to discuss the record in the comment section. As always, for more content about Japanese music, you can subscribe to this channel or follow me on social media like Twitter, Facebook or Reddit. If you want to go the extra mile, you can also support me on Patreon. Every donation is appreciated, but it isn't a must. Also make sure to check out some of my other videos like these two down below. Thanks again for watching and have a great day.